I know quite a few people, when they tested positive for COVID, they were happy. And they were happy because with the symptom of loss of appetite, it just meant that they were going to be losing weight, right? But these were the people that were already weighing at the 3-digit mark. But what happens when you're not weighing at the 3-digit mark? No, but you've been weighing at the 2-digit mark since birth. And yes, birth, because I was that very chunky baby weighing at 10 pounds when I was born. So with having COVID about a month ago, it just meant that I was weighing times 9 my birth weight exactly. And that's when I realized we had a problem. Hey guys, now I know some of you guys may be wondering why this video isn't of an adult diaper try-on, which I've been doing consecutively over the past few weeks. Now I will be doing adult diaper try-ons still. My next video will be on another try-on, but I just feel like if this video can help any one of you just smile or laugh about just going through COVID while being immunocompromised, then this is the video because I think it'll make you smile. So before I begin this video, you guys already know what I'm about to say. A lot of you guys view my videos, but not a lot subscribe. Subscribe to my channel if you love watching my videos. I really appreciate it. And yeah, so for now, I hope you guys enjoy my video. When some of the symptoms of COVID are quite similar to the symptoms with having an autoimmune disease, how on earth do you distinguish the difference between it just being COVID or it just being your autoimmune disease acting up on you? For instance, with having multiple sclerosis, right? What if the symptoms I'm experiencing isn't because of COVID? And what if it's symptoms of having multiple sclerosis? Or you know what, better yet, what if I'm just having a goddamn relapse? This is what honestly drove me up the wall, because the symptoms that I was experiencing wasn't just because of multiple sclerosis. No, it was also because I had COVID and I had just not known. So you know what, let's just start off with symptom number 1, fatigue. I fall asleep in the middle of conversations, and it's not because what you're saying is boring. And I mean, just don't talk for more than a minute straight and we're good. I won't be falling asleep. I'm so glad for Instagram, because on Instagram voice messaging, it only allows you to talk for 1 minute straight, and I'm like, yes, I don't have to listen to things that are so long, because I will fall asleep. I will forget about what I'm even thinking about, and hi, I'm pretty. So while having COVID, yes, I did take naps, but my naps were still power naps. They were only for about 5 minutes, and I would usually feel better after that, right? So for me, I had a hard time understanding, okay, is it COVID? Is it multiple sclerosis? I don't know. And it's like, I know some of you guys are probably wondering, Pri, why didn't you just do the rapid test? Now, while experiencing the fatigue, at this point, my parents tested positive for COVID, right? So at the back of my mind, I knew I was going to get COVID at some point. But I had a hard time understanding when that moment was going to happen, because my parents were downstairs, right? I was upstairs. They didn't come upstairs. I didn't go downstairs or anything. So for me, it's like I was waiting to get COVID, because it was like I really didn't know how I was going to react, because a lot of people scared me. A lot of the people who weren't immunocompromised would just be like, oh my gosh, COVID was like the worst thing ever. You know, I felt the fatigue, I felt this, I felt that. And it's like, hi, yeah, I have multiple sclerosis and I already feel that on a day-to-day basis. So you're just telling the wrong person this. And it's like, it always drove me up the wall when people try to tell me what they're feeling, and it's like, I already feel this every day. Why are you telling me this? I actually haven't gotten my Ocrevus infusion. At that point, it was like about to reach 6 months, and I usually get Ocrevus every 5 months, because my nurse usually gives it to me earlier because she always thinks I'm busy, but I'm not really busy. But she doesn't need to know that, because then I'm gonna have to wait the 6 months. I did feel slightly more tired than usual. I just believed that it was because I needed to have my Ocrevus infusion, because that's my battery. That's my battery that I feel like once it gets put into me, I feel like I can function properly again, right? And this just gets into my next point. Having COVID at that point and not knowing I had COVID, right? It was hard for me to understand why I was feeling the way I was feeling, because it was like a part of me was just honestly paranoid that I was having an MS relapse, but then the other part of me was like, no, but then I have parents that are downstairs that have COVID, so maybe I also have COVID. So I actually tested myself with a rapid test and I came out negative. So at this point, I felt like I was going mental. I was like, okay, so I'm probably having a relapse right now. At a certain point, I just wasn't able to walk. Like the moment I got out of bed, I ended up falling right onto the ground. And I wasn't sleeping on this bed. This bed is pretty low. I was sleeping on another bed in the other room, which is a lot higher. It's probably like up here. And for someone who's 5'2", it just doesn't work because it's like, it's a huge difference. It's like a huge distance to me. And every single time I got off, I fell off. It would be like a loud thump on the ground, or like a 92-pounded thump. But it would be a bit of a thump, right? And my parents would be screaming because they'd be so terrified. They'd be like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And it's like, yeah, I'm okay. I just fell off the bed again. And I would literally laugh about it in pain because I was so exhausted at this point. I was so mentally exhausted. The loss of mobility is what drove me up the wall because I had no one helping me. I know a lot of people, when they get COVID, a lot of people aren't there to help them, right? But for me, it was frustrating because I didn't have help while not being able to walk. So who was going to be giving me food or cooking something for me because I wasn't able to cook, I wasn't able to walk, I wasn't even able to walk over to the kitchen. And my sister, I remember when she called me, she was like, Pri, I'll stay on the phone, go over to the kitchen and eat. And at this point, I was like, I can't walk to the kitchen. Like, it was so difficult for me to the point where I was like, honestly, I'm just, maybe I don't need to be eating today. Maybe I could eat tomorrow, right? This is what a 90-pound person would say, but yeah. At this point, I just had a feeling I had COVID, so I called my sister to ask her to drop off a rapid test for me because I ran out of them, and she dropped it off outside, and I picked it up. But honestly, man, let me just tell you, walking over to the living room, that was like a shit show for me because I was struggling. Oh my gosh. Oh. I tested myself and it came out positive. I'm not having a relapse. Like, it wasn't even the excitement about, oh my gosh, yes, I'm going to be losing weight with a loss of appetite. Nah. I wasn't about losing weight. I didn't care about that at that point. I had a hard time walking to the bathroom. I had a hard time walking over to the kitchen. I had a hard time just walking into everything except the wall. It was hard because I felt like my vision was kind of also acting up at this point. And this just gets into my next point. So with the sore and irritated eyes I was experiencing, it wasn't new to me, except with multiple sclerosis, they don't call it irritated eyes. No, they call it double vision, nystagmus, and just vision that shakes, I guess you could say. And I'm sure there's more. But yeah, so those are the 3 that I was experiencing, and it was difficult, but I got through it, so yeah. So what was COVID really taking away from me when I tested positive? Well, nothing. It was just enhancing my problems. The loss of appetite and nausea didn't really have anything to do with multiple sclerosis. However, I did experience this early on as well. It wasn't very comfortable, but with the nausea, the one thing that I found that helped was green ginger tea. That's how you say it, right? Green ginger tea. Yeah, I feel like that helped because I love my ginger. So like this was like perfect for me because I've been drinking green ginger tea since COVID because damn. With the loss of appetite, it just meant that maybe you just wouldn't be drinking a lot of stuff or maybe you wouldn't be eating a lot, right? And it just meant that you wouldn't have to be going to the bathroom as many times as you needed to. But no, you did, and this just gets into my next point. The overactive bladder. Okay, you know what, I'm totally kidding. The overactive bladder is not a symptom to COVID. And my dad tested positive was the moment I realized I had to be wearing a pull-up because I wasn't sure when I was going to be getting COVID, but I knew it was coming. So I put on a pull-up and everything. Some days I didn't need it, but then when I got COVID, I definitely needed it. It's pretty funny because I actually filmed 2 try-ons while having COVID. Not a lot of people noticed. There's only like 2 people that actually asked why my voice sounded different, and I was like, yeah, I have COVID. Honestly, a smile can fake so much, and people don't really notice that either, so yeah. I ended up emailing my nurse letting her know I got COVID and whatnot, and I was asking her if getting the booster was necessary because at this point I didn't even know. I thought my rock was the safest place to be, but okay. She wanted to wait 2 weeks after my booster to give me my Ocrevus infusion, finally. She told me I'll also have an MRI next week, so I thought that was quite interesting because I just had an MRI 6 months ago, and I usually get an MRI once every year, but I thought it was pretty interesting how she's giving me one right now, given that I just had one 6 months ago. But I guess it makes sense. I got COVID and maybe something's going on in my brain and maybe I have more scars in my brain. I don't know. I'm not going to find out until I do my MRI. And yeah, MS is always about the unknowing. So that's pretty much it to my video. I hope I was able to bring some light into the situation of having COVID for those of you who are also immunocompromised and maybe haven't experienced COVID yet. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought about this video, because I'd honestly love to hear from you. Or even message me on Instagram, because that'd be cool too. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Follow me on Instagram and check out my blog. I'll post links down below as always. And I'll see you guys in my next video. That will be on our try-on. That will be up for next week. And yeah, so bye guys.